I've got one question for you. Are you ready to get your game on?
The longest-running off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet is coming to you live with the biggest guest in motorsports. Here is the only man on the planet who can pack this much dirt slinging and tire slaying into 2 hours a week. Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to get your ears blown. Here is Jim Beaver and the Down and Dirty Radio Show.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, and schooled by Dirtfish Rally School. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and man, back in the saddle in Arizona. Just got done last week with our third anniversary show from the House of Hoon up there in Park City, Utah, throwing it down with Ken Block and company. Got to thank Nitro Circus's Greg Godfrey as well, who stopped by, and good chat with him and Ken Block, and also Ivan the Iron Man Stewart. So those of you tuning in who missed our anniversary show last Monday, you definitely want to catch that in the archives. Good times had by all, and I got to tell you, that place of blocks up there is second to none. Talk about an amazing facility, and I was stoked to finally be able to get up there and check it out. You know, you've seen the pictures, and it just doesn't do it justice. Ken, I've had an open invite for a long time, and finally able to make my way up there, and well worth it. It's I know I think the only way it's open to the public is if you you buy a Focus or Fiesta ST, you go up to Miller Motorsports Park and take part in their thing, and then you get a chance to go over there and check out Ken Block's place. So if you ever buy a Focus or Fiesta ST and go up to Miller Motorsports Park, get the opportunity to go to Block's, you definitely want to do it. Let me tell you, that place is pretty over the top. So big show on tap for today. First off, Destry Abbott, absolute legend on two wheels. When you think of off-road motorcycles, you think of Destry Abbott. I mean, this guy has been there, done that. Baja 1000, Works, Endurocross. Now he's got a training facility, DA8 training. We're going to get into a lot of motorcycle talk with Destry Abbott. Looking forward to that long overdue interview. And later on in the show, kicking off hour number 2, we're going to have Matt Martelli from the Mint 400 and Mad Media. He's going to be calling in, and I had the opportunity to participate with Matt and a few of the guys from RaceDesert.com. We broke down the top 10 off-road drivers in the world, encompassing desert racing, short course, rally raid, rally racing, rally cross, all combined. We break it down. We've got the top 10 off-road drivers in the world. It just dropped over on racedesert.com this morning, about 30 minutes ago. Make your way over to racedesert.com as you're listening in. Check out that top 10 off-road drivers in the world, and we're going to be breaking that down in hour number 2, reasons why we picked who we picked, why they're on the list, and we want to hear from you. So if you got some questions for us, at JimBeaver15 on Twitter, tweet me, tag me, and we will definitely, hopefully answer your questions on air. And I want your feedback. What do you think of our top 10 off-road drivers in the world? Who doesn't deserve to be on the list? Who made the list and should be punted? And who didn't make the list that you guys think deserves a spot? So we want to hear from you. I mean, this is a great topic for discussion, and looking forward to hearing some fan feedback on this. To me, it's a huge deal. I look forward to doing this every year. I participated about a year and a half ago. We did this, and definitely looking forward to hearing from you guys. It's definitely a topic for discussion, especially when you start talking about including rallycross. If we just did a desert racing, a top 10, be pretty easy. If you just did a short course top 10, maybe a little more difficult with the different classes, but fairly easy. But you start encompassing different disciplines like rally raid, rally cross, stage rally, in addition to desert, short course, and King of the Hammers type stuff. And it definitely is up for debate. So looking forward to hearing your feedback on that. At JimBeaver15 on Twitter, hit me up, let me know. know after you've gone to racedesert.com and checked it out. Also on tap later today, we last week we were going to break down the Henderson results. Had such a good time with Ken Block, Greg Godfrey. That kind of got sidetracked. So we're going to break down Henderson results, crown some Best in the Desert champions on air today. Also, we got snowcross, happening up there in Fargo. And, we're just getting started with the snowcross season. Looking forward to dissecting Fargo and talking a little bit about that. And then we also had Race of Champions. So looking forward to talking a little Race of Champions down there in Barbados. But right now, it looks like we got Destry Abbott calling in. So let's pick up Destry. How's everything going, Destry?
Oh, things are awesome. I'm out in the desert, so I had to hurry up and find some good cell service.
Yeah. No, I got to tell you right now, I mean, you're an Arizona guy, and, I'm an Arizona guy. Right now, it's perfect weather to be out in the desert. I mean, you can't ask for anything better, right?
No, you're absolutely right. It's a wet desert, and anybody knows anything about being out in the desert, that's perfect conditions. So I've been out here for a few days, and it's hard to pass up for sure.
Yeah. So, let's talk a little bit about you because, I mean, you hear the name Destry Abbott and, anybody that listens to this show, 9 times out of 10, they know exactly who you are. They've known, what you've done. But, here you are, and I hate to say, you're like me. We're kind of getting up there in age, right? And we're, I'm mid-30s, you're right around 40. But, you're still competing actively. I mean, you're helping some of these younger riders. I mean, kind of tell everybody a little bit about what you're doing right now. And I know you've got that training school and you're inviting people down there and you're really helping groom this next group of riders.
Yeah, you're just trying to find a nice way of saying I'm old. How that goes. But no, I am 42, and yeah, I'm still doing enduro cross, which is like the indoor obstacles. And we do X Games still, and I'll be doing X Games next year again. And definitely fortunate to still be doing what I love to do, and at 42. But yeah, now I have a D8 training facility, a gym I own. Online training I do, and then riding schools, D8 riding schools, and I work with some of the top riders, top 3 guys in the Hare and Hounds, top Works guy, top American Taylor Robert. There's so many good riders, and today that's what I'm doing is working with a guy from Canada. So definitely fortunate to be able to kind of give back on the experience I've had over the years, especially on the motorcycle side, and I'm really loving it. I love to be riding. I'm like an enthusiast as far as anything racing. I follow just about every type of racing, as you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm huge in the trucks, everything. So, it's cool to still be part of the sport and still be able to do things in the industry. And, for me, still riding a motorcycle is fun for me.
Yeah, well, let's talk because there's a lot of younger riders. You deal with a lot of younger riders, and whether it be even the car and truck guys. I mean, but specifically younger riders. I mean, on dirt bikes. I mean, how what's your best advice for them? Because everybody watches TV and they want to be the next Ryan Villapoto. You know what I mean? But you and I know that there's maybe a dozen guys making a living at at really doing that. What do you tell these riders as they're coming up and what I mean, and finding sponsors and how to actually make a living at this, and how did you get started in it, and and what kind of doors open for you?
No, you're 100% right. I was lucky enough to have my dad who rode before, and I started when I was young, but I actually didn't start racing until I was 13, and my racing career didn't take off until I was in my mid-20s, early 20s, and then I signed with back to Kawasaki, and I've been with them for 18 years. But really, it's about having fun. And I tell a lot of kids that I'm working with is you have to have fun. It's something you have to want. I see so many younger kids that, now social media is a big thing and they want to be the next Ryan Villapoto or whoever it is, but there's so much ups and downs and it's a roller coaster. Anything, to do with racing, you have injuries, you have mechanical issues. So it's learning to come up from being down. When you're having issues, is to be able to get back up and just deal with it and think positively and keep moving forward. And I think that's what a lot of kids don't realize is they want it easy. And I can tell you honestly, this generation is a lot tougher than most. I don't want to say they're spoiled, but they feel like they earned something. They deserve it. And I think, I still work with some amazing kids that aren't that way, but I do have a few that I can tell, it's like, not to knock them, but it's, when it's tough, they're over it. And I'm thinking, man, if you want to be a champion, you have to deal with that. And that's kind of part of anything, any sport in general. So, I don't know, I'm blessed as far as, I've had rocky years and bad years, and I've had great years, 10 major championships over my career. And pretty fortunate to be able to be one of the few that have made a decent living at doing this, and still to be able to do that. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I know obviously, Hare and Hound, I mean, you've done, some work stuff. I know even, I guess it would be kind of, I guess I don't want to say late in your career, but, you've done the Baja 1000 a couple times now. I mean, let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, Baja, I mean, that's something that, you look at a guy like Johnny Campbell, and he's been, it took him years and years and years to be really good at it. And you stepped in, and I think your first year, you guys finished within 3 minutes of the winning team?
Yeah, we definitely. I was bummed. We finished first overall physically we were on the Kicks 450, and it was just one of those things that one of the riders crashed it pretty good, and we had a good sized lead, and we still able to salvage it. But the Honda team beat us on time, and it was an awesome experience. That's one thing I didn't get to race a lot of is score because of Kawasaki had a big force down there, and it's one thing I wanted to put on my resume is winning the Baja 1000. And then the last year, I think it was 2-3 years ago when we went all the way down, we were within a minute of Honda at like 1,100 miles in, and our motor let go. So that's racing. That's that ups and downs, and you give it everything you had, and it was definitely a bummer. And now, honestly, I don't know. I think I'd rather be in a cage if I went to go do that again. But I think it was. I can't look back and say I wish I would have tried that. I did try it, and second overall is not too bad, but of course I wanted that first.
Yeah. Well, and talking about that, and talking about a cage, I mean, a lot of guys, on bikes have kind of graduated that way towards the cage. I mean, most of them still ride regularly, don't get me wrong, but, is any of those doors opened up? I mean, it seems like, a lot of guys with your experience on a bike generally transfer really, really well to desert racing and say, a Class 1 car, a trophy truck. I mean, you ever had an opportunity to test one or go out and get some seat time in one?
I've actually been fortunate enough to go out with LR one time at Rossler, and amazing motorcycle guy, amazing driver, and of course I've tried to pursue that, but it's one of those things you got to have a little money to go that way. But I think with my, I guess time on the motorcycle and time reading terrain, all that would pay off. But no, I mean I haven't really got to get the seat time I wanted to, but I have a Teryx that's all done up. Not that that's anywhere near the same level, but I love going out and driving that thing and ripping around. But it's fun, and if the time comes or I had the opportunity, I can tell you I wouldn't pass that up. That's something that would be a dream come true. And anybody, like you said, that's ridden motorcycles, that's all of our next goal is, we want to get in a truck, we want to get in a car. So if it happened, that would be awesome. If not, I just keep moving forward. It's what I have now.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about Endurocross, because I know, you're still, competing in the Endurocross series. I mean, you're doing X Games. Endurocross, man, it's just a different animal. And I've talked with guys. I mean, we even had Travis Pastrana on air a few months back, and he was saying, he's like, I've got no ambition to even think about doing that. He's like, it's just nutty what those guys are doing. I mean, how did Endurocross come about? How'd you get involved in that? And I mean, what kind of skill set does it take you, to do that? I mean, what have you had to adapt over to be successful in Endurocross?
Yeah, Endurocross is definitely a different kind of beast. I mean, it started 10 years ago, and, I was there in Vegas when it started, and I've been there since then. And I do riding schools at some of the rounds, and I still race the pro class and qualify for quite a few of the mains. But it is a beast in itself. I love extreme riding, like, Erzberg style, like gnarly stuff. That's what I enjoy the most, because it's just, you just keep moving. And that's what Endurocross is. It's basically obstacles. We have jumps. We have logs, water jumps. And it's in an arena. So we have, 7,000, 8,000, depending on how much it holds. They pretty much sell out almost everywhere we go. And now being part of X Games is even a bigger deal, because it's kind of brought it to another level again. But it is hard. The heart rate's wide open. You're at 180, 190. And, it's tough. Within a minute or two, there's nothing like it. Anybody that's racing, we have supercross guys, we have trials guys who are probably some of the best riders because of what Endurocross is. It's precise, being, light on the bike, moving around, and those guys are killing it right now, and I think we're all learning from them. But, yeah, that's one that being the older guy isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it's about not making mistakes. Excuse me. And just kind of keep moving. So it's fun, but it's hard to do, and if anybody comes and watches it, it's addicting. It's like, because it's action-packed. Leader can go to fourth. you can be in fifth and win the race. It's just I don't want to say there's crashes all the time, but there is a lot of mistakes that when you start lapping people, it plays a big factor.
Yeah, and it's me. I've spent a lot of time on a bike. I mean, I'm nowhere near competition, ready, level, of a rider. But I look at endurocross and I'm like, I don't want to race endurocross, but I'd love to take my bike and go out there and ride the course because it just looks like fun. But I mean, you guys get into the rocks and stuff like that. I mean, it just gets gnarly. I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong,
Exactly. And it's one of those things that you see it in the stands. You're like, oh, that looks pretty cool. And you go down there and realize a lot we're going over is 3 feet tall, and the rocks have huge gaps in them. But that's why I do riding schools on Fridays. And I have a lot of guys. We have 15 guys a lot of times that show up, and they're not racing, but they wanted to try it. And I'm like, that's cool. They're down here trying it. And most of the time they're like, crap, that was a lot harder than they thought it would be, because if you're not smooth and you don't finesse, you're pulling the bike and it's work, and it's fun. I'm like, I tell everybody, give it a shot, like try that. And it's one of those things that you don't want to pass out that opportunity.
Yeah. Well, and I know, the cool thing about endurocross is, it's really embraced the women. And I know, the U.S. motocross, championship for women is kind of gone away. And, I've talked with Jolene Van Vught. I know we had Amy Hood on air a couple of months ago, and she's looking at an endurocross. But it kind of seems like, a lot of the women are going over there, and it's really embraced them. And the competition level with the ladies has become insane there, too.
Yeah, Jessica Patterson, there's a lot of women rider motocross girls that are trying to make the switch over, and it is tough. I mean, one of the top girls, she's in a second in the series, who I work with, on a monthly basis, and it's competitive. I mean, they get just as much publicity out of it as we do, and it's awesome to see because it is so tough, and they're phenomenal girls. It's amazing to go out there and see them going over these obstacles and really being as competitive as we are, maybe not on the same speed, but I mean, they're going pretty dang fast, and they're beating the majority of the guys if they race head to head. So it's awesome racing, and it's, like I said, it's action packed. And the last round a few weeks ago at the championship online, it came down to the end with 3 of them, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about DA8 training, because you've got this school down there, and and you've got a lot of riders coming in and out. I mean, kind of take us through, kind of your vision, your goal, and take us through, a rider comes to you and says, hey, I want to improve, or let's even say me. I mean, a desert racing guy who's in a car, and I know you do a lot of stuff on the fitness level and nutrition and things like that. I mean, come to you and say, hey, Destry, I need to get an edge. I need to get a little better in shape. I mean, what do you do with a guy like me, or say somebody on a bike that's mid-20s that's still, that's racing?
Yeah, no, it's been cool because I think I'm giving back to what I've learned over the years and what I'm still learning. I mean, there's no one that knows everything, but I got a certified trainer's license now, so I'm a sports trainer, and so I train people at the gym, and I have a couple other trainers that work Monday through Saturday here in Peoria, Arizona, and we have a gym. It's morning and evening classes, and we work with a lot of athletes and even a lot of non-athletes, a lot of moms, dads. And then I do online training for, I would say, more athletes than non. And that's it's an app that you have on your phone, your iPad, whatever it is. And literally you can sign up for that, and we give you a weekly schedule on each workout, and it's a video on each thing you're supposed to do, and it tells you how many reps or whatever it is. And it kind of has you on a platform as for learning what you need to be doing. If you do this is a huge factor. And Gary Sutherland, who won the Work Series, he's one of the riders I have on that, and then Taylor Robert, who comes into the gym. So, excuse me, a little sick. So all that works out super good. And then, like today, I have a riding school, and the kid's coming down for a week, and he stays in an apartment I have over my garage and has dinner with us, and we do some riding. And after riding today, we hit the gym. So it depends on what level you're at, but I do riding schools for the top pros to guys that are just wanting to come up or come to Arizona and stay for a week and get the experience, and it's fun. I'm actually really enjoying that. I think it's a lot less pressure than having to win races, so I like that part, the aspect of it for sure.
Yeah, well, it's got to be pretty cool, for you to have a guy or a girl come through your school and get some training and work with you, and then go out and win a race. It's kind of got to make you feel good,
Absolutely. Like, my son's really coming up right now, and I love being part of that. But I love seeing these kids that I'm working with progressing and working hard, and then seeing them getting the results they deserve. And for me, that's super rewarding. I mean, I'm loving that, and that's something I didn't know if I want to do, but now I've been doing it for almost a year. It's I'm hooked because I love seeing the people get better and better, and really, and most of them are really appreciative, and that's what I enjoy too.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about, the state of, let's call it off-road, motorcycle racing, whether it be endurocross or desert or works or hare and hound. Let's take us a little bit through that, because, I mean, you've seen the ups and downs of the sport. You know what I mean? Kind of tell us a little bit about the, state of the off-road industry right now. How do you see things? I mean, where do you see it going in the next couple of years? I mean, it seems like endurocross has definitely, helped the off-road community kind of grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Endurocross has definitely been a huge factor, and I think being part of ESPN and X Games and getting exposure we're getting from that has really brought us to another level. Our industry is definitely tight right now, with all the manufacturers kind of cutting back, and, it's just things are tighter, so it's been tough. Like the Hare and Hound series, works, GTCs, air scrambles, whatever it is definitely, they don't have the factor support that I wish we did have for off-road. But I know that's going to come back in a year or two. It's just taking a little time. As far as the riders, there's so many darn good riders right now. It's just there's not enough rides for them, and that's the tough part. A lot of these kids are having to get jobs and try to work on the weekend, or work on the week and then racing on the weekends. And that's how I came up. I'm like, I didn't have it easy at all, like a lot of people think. But it made me appreciate it that much more too. So it's like, once I got a factory ride, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to ever get a job again. So I'm just going to keep working hard. And I tell guys, just don't give up on it. It's, just keep pushing, and, maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, but you don't want to look back and have a regret and wish you would have tried that. So, it's the industry is tight right now, but the off-road racing is awesome. I mean, I wish we didn't have some of the land, especially in California, closing. But I mean, I know we're all trying to do what we can to keep it open, and hopefully, with every support we have, it stays that way and starts opening back up. But it's hard to say right now.
Yeah. How do you, talking a little bit about, the industry as a whole? I mean, do you feel like, UTVs right now and that side of the power sports industry is really exploding? Do you feel like that's maybe stolen some of the dollars from the two-wheel community? I mean, we know the quad community is kind of going away. But do you feel like UTVs have helped or hurt, the two-wheel side of things?
I don't know if it's really hurt them at all, honestly. I think more people gotten into off-road because of it. People are going out there, and the thing about the UTVs, and like I say, we have a Terex, and I think it's actually helping the sport as far as people want to be on the off-road. And now my wife goes out with us, and, before she didn't want to ride, so now we have the Terex, and, the kids go out, and the wife drives the Terex while the kids and I go ride the bikes, So I think that's actually been huge. And, I mean, I know there's quite a few places here in Arizona, and especially the fact that we can have our street legal and I can drive it up to Home Depot or whatever it is, it's pretty cool. But I definitely think that's been a plus, because there's more people getting into off-road because of it, and people realizing, oh, wait, this isn't what I thought it was, and we're not destroying stuff like people think we do, and we're not bad people at all. It's actually a family sport, and when you go out there, you're camping, it's a fun atmosphere.
Yeah, it's, I think UTV is kind of almost like the gateway drug, right?
Yeah, it's a gateway drug. And then next thing you know, the kids want to have a motorcycle to ride around the pit. So it's definitely, I think it's a good thing for sure.
Yeah, definitely agree with you there. So, let's talk about, 2015 real quick as we kind of wind things down. What's on tap for you? Obviously, we've got the training school. I mean, as far as the competition schedule, what are we looking at seeing you compete in?
I'm definitely racing the Endurocross series again. It'll be my final year. Really racing anything full time, and then I'll still be doing selective because I'm not going to quit. But I'm doing X Games again, and then just the selective other big events. I'll hit the California event, some other national events, but not really going for a championship anymore. It's more out there for fun and kind of pushing my PA training line and things like that. But it's honestly I'm an enthusiast, so I really enjoy being part of the sport, and it's hard for me to just stop because it's what I know and what I love to be around. So I definitely will be at the races, and I'm still having fun with that. So I think that's going to be the main objective.
Well, and I got to ask you too, because we're about a month and a half out. But King of the Hammers, King of the Motos. I know you've done that in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, talk a little bit about King of the Motos, because I see what these guys are doing in the car and trucks, or in the Jeeps, and I don't know what to even call them anymore because they're such a hybrid vehicle. But to see you guys on a dirt bike go over the same thing. I mean, that you want to talk about endurocross being madness. I mean, that's pretty nutty.
Yeah, I agree with you. The first time, I think it was 3 years ago, I've done it. I didn't get to do it this last year. I had an injury, but I've gotten a third and a fourth overall. And I remember the first time I went, and I've always heard of it. I knew a lot about it, King of Hammers. And when I went, I was blown away at how the desert turned into a city. And I don't even know what, like you said, I don't know what to call them, but there were some insane vehicles. And I went and watched the prologue of those guys, and it was so awesome watching them go up some of the stuff that I'm like, holy crap, I would have never thought they can go up that. So that was fun to be part of, and it was cool. Dave brought us in for the motorcycle side, and Jimmy Lewis put that on. And that's the stuff I enjoy riding the most, because it is gnarly. You got to be fit. You got to be, it's not just about going fast. It's about keep moving, and that's what I enjoy. And I was definitely something I'm going to go back, and I'll be back to that one as long as I'm healthy. Which, being 42, it's hard to be healthy. Yeah. So as long as my body will let me. So how's that? But that was fun to be part of for sure.
Yeah, I mean, talking about King of the Motos, I mean, what's it take to win that event?
That's like last year we were talking about the trials guys. The trials guys are so phenomenal, and even before Graham Jarvis, who's from England, Great Britain, and he's a world trials rider. So like last year, Cody Webb won, and Taylor Robert, who I work with, got second. But he's been working a lot of trials skills. So we've all been working trials, and it's finesse, like really using your legs, using your body, get momentum to get your bike over the big obstacles, the big rocks, whatever it may be. And it's tough. If you don't finesse it, you can't just muscle it. It's not a thing about trying to go and force something. It doesn't work that way. So it's about picking good lines and being a veteran as far as, knowing when to go fast and when not to. And that's what makes, the King of the Motos or extreme events so much fun, is they're challenging. And those are the ones you're going to fall, you're going to get up, you got to get back up and get going. And I think that's what makes it exciting, is because, if you find a gnarly section, there's going to be spectators there, and they're going to be cheering you on, and they're going to see some loop outs and all that. So it's fun for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, before we let you go, anybody you want to thank? Obviously, anybody that wants to get in touch with you as far as your training center goes. Where do they need to go? And give us the details, buddy.
No, I appreciate you having me on. It was an honor to be able to call in and be able to do this. And my name, DestryAbbott.com. That's where my riding school site is, and the info on my training schools and my facility, my gym, and then even the online stuff. And I answer all my emails. I do all that. So, anybody who wants to contact me there, and Monster Energy, Kawasaki, Thor, all of them are still a huge part. And it's been blessed to have some great people behind me and still supporting me, and they see that I enjoy being part of this sport. So it's a good thing to be part of.
Awesome. And
like I said, I appreciate you having me on too.
No, I appreciate, it was something I think we've been talking about it via social media for maybe 6 months now. And it's just one of those things, and getting on the same page and being able to do it. But anytime we'll definitely have to get you back on air. Maybe, maybe when Endurocross kicks off next year.
Yeah, well, maybe when I start driving four wheels, that'd be a nice little perk there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely need to get you in something with four wheels. So I'm thinking of all these.
Exactly.
I don't know if you're familiar with the Terracross series.
I am actually, yeah.
I'm looking at that going, man, that's got a pretty good cross between four-wheel racing and.
That's a good, exactly. And those are great drivers, but it's a good way. It's not as expensive either. So
it's pretty cool. I've looked at doing that next year, and I know what McGrath's done it. There's quite a few guys, kind of double dipping and doing that as well. It's a pretty cool series. So
yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
So,
well, I appreciate you taking the time, buddy, and we'll definitely talk again soon.
All right, well, let me know if I can help with anything.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Destry.
Take care.
Bye. All right, that was Destry Abbott, basically a two-wheel legend. If you watch off-road, if you follow off-road motorcycles, I say motorcycle racing. He's been in the Baja 1000. He's, Hare and Hound, Works. I mean, he's traveled the world in Durocross now, and the guy, like you said, 10 major championships. I mean, he's won just about everything. I think, the Baja 1000 is the bucket list that he didn't do, or didn't get a chance to win. But I mean, geez, second place, 3 minutes out from the factory Honda team. I mean, you can't really argue with that. I mean, the guy is definitely legit, a great ambassador for for the sport of motorcycle racing. And I know his facility. I know even talking, it was funny because talking with Amy Hood a couple months ago. I mean, she even said, "Hey, I want to get to Destry's place and do some training." And we're talking about somebody that's super physically fit and great on a bike, but even she recognizes what he's doing down there. So. Great having Destry on air, and we got a lot more to talk about here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. And don't forget, about 30 minutes kicking off hour number 2, Matt Martelli is going to be calling in, and we are going to be breaking down the top 10 off-road drivers in the world. So tweet me at JimBeaver15. I know you've been to Race Desert by now, race-desert.com, desert with a Z. And, check that out. It's front page, big feature, and let us know what you think. Tweet me at JimBeaver15 and, tell us you agree, you disagree, who you want on, who you want off. I want to hear from you. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're gonna dissect some Race of Champions, maybe some snowcross from Fargo, and the Best in the Desert Henderson 250 results. So stay tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, and schooled by Dirtfish Rally School.
Dirtfish Rally School is the premier rally driving school on the West Coast, located in Snoqualmie, Washington. If you are looking for a ton of fun with world-class driving instructors honing your skills, Dirtfish is the place for you. Dirtfish has 315 acres of playground with mixed surfaces for your driving experience. You can spend anywhere from 2 hours to 3 intense days of instruction refining your driving and racing skills. Whether you are looking for credits towards your Rally America license, honing your racing skills, or just having a fun time, Dirtfish is your school. Your classroom is behind wheel of a 300 horsepower rally-prepped Subaru STI. These cars have protective cages, suspension modifications, and are built for one purpose: to push you to your limit. By the end of your time at Dirtfish, you will have the confidence to rally with the best. Whether you're looking for a thrilling first-time rally experience or to increase your knowledge and time in the driver's seat, Dirtfish has a driving experience to suit your needs. For any information on their classes, corporate events, or their facility, check them out on the web at www.dirtfish.com or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Dirtfish Rally. Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports, Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com. Very few companies can call themselves an industry leader. Racetech Seats is one of the few. It doesn't matter if you race off-road, rally, touring cars, sprint cars, drag racing, or boats. Chances are, Racetech Seats have a seat that will keep you safe, secure, and comfortable, allowing you to concentrate on winning. Racetech Seats meet and exceed the FIA crash test standard, are Hans compatible, flame resistant, and offer full containment, meaning you can race knowing you are protected by the best. More information can be found at www.racetech-usa.com. That's www.racetech-usa.com. Racetech Seats. Our passion is keeping you safe.
Don't miss your chance to unwrap $10,000 cash, plus iPods, iPads, Xbox One, HDTVs, and more with Santa's Gift Madness at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Come play for your chance at over $50,000 in cash and prizes. Weekly drawings are Wednesday nights and Sunday afternoons through December 21st. Then on December 28th at 5 p.m., the huge $10,000 cash drawing. The more you play, the better your odds of winning $50,000 in cash and prizes. Santa's Gift Madness. See the club for details, and happy holidays from Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Okay, when you're on the job, you're making tough decisions around the clock. Well, here's an easy one. Ford F-Series. Under the hood, F-Series trucks have the power and fuel efficiency you need. Translation? You can always tackle the toughest jobs without losing a fortune at the pumps. But it's not just all brawn and no brains. F-Series trucks also have a cutting-edge selection of smart technology that keeps you connected, focused, and informed, all while behind the wheel. That's why, on average, every 42 seconds, someone forks over their hard-earned cash to get a new F-150 or Super Duty. No wonder they're the best-selling brand of trucks in America for 37 years in a row. The competition never stood a chance. Ford F-150, Ford Super Duty. #1 for 37 years straight. Not convinced? Get behind the wheel of an F-150 or Super Duty and decide for yourself. Go online to your local FordDealers.com, then visit your Arizona Ford dealer for a test drive today. Based on U.S. sales from October 2012 through October 2013.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, and schooled by Dirtfish Rally School. I'm gonna have to retrain myself. I've been doing those drops for so long, and adding Polaris Razor into the mix. I love it, but gonna have to retrain the thought process there. What do they say? Repetition. It takes 3 weeks to break an old habit. So hopefully by the first of the year, we've got it dialed. Talking about first of the year. I want to first off once again thank all of you who tuned in to our show last week live from Hoonigan Racing, our anniversary show. 3 years been doing this now, and here's hoping we can still be here 3 years from now, and hopefully we'll keep growing and growing and growing. I mean, well over 500,000 of you tuning in and through all of our syndicates and things like that. This feed goes out all over the country, after we air here, live on Monday morning. So, thanks to all of you who have supported the show, continue to support the show, me and all of our great partners we have involved now. And finally, after 3 years, finally found the right partner to do some title branding with, and super stoked to have Polaris Razor involved. Going to be doing a lot of fun things with them going forward. Those of you, just let you know, we are going to go dark after this week for about 2 weeks there over the holidays. Maybe we'll air, greatest hits episode with some of our best interviews of the year. But as far as live shows go, we won't be airing for the next 2 weeks, and kick things off, and we'll have some Supercross, on air to kick off the new year. But speaking of Supercross, we are doing that Supercross, Fantasy Supercross League. So I don't have all the details. I wanted to have them today to be able to announce them, but keep watching my social media and website, because KMC Wheels presents the Down and Dirty Radio Show Fantasy Supercross Challenge. We'll have all the details sometime, hopefully in the next week. You want to get involved in that, we're going to be giving away a free set of KMC wheels to the winner of the Fantasy Supercross Challenge. So big props to KMC Wheels for stepping up. They're gonna pimp your ride with a new set of KMC wheels. And then second through fifth place going to get a swag pack from KMC Wheels with hats, shirts, koozies, lanyards, stickers. I don't know what else, but KMC, they've got some awesome swag. So they're going to give away some gift packages from 2nd through 5th place. We're kicking things off Anaheim. It's going to run all the way through Vegas, the entire Supercross season. So looking forward to that Fantasy Supercross League. I'll be participating, and I'm going to reach out to maybe some other trophy truck guys, maybe some people from the motorcycle community, see if we can get them involved in the league and playing in there against you fans and listeners. I think it should be fun and give us something to chat about on Monday mornings and and on social media while the races are going on. So looking forward to that KMC Wheels Fantasy Supercross Challenge. So definitely be watching my social media for more details, as we get closer. Also wanted to make mention here, over the holidays, Rigid Industries and I, one of the partners in the Trophy Truck, this show, I'm going to be doing a blog. It's going to be at least once a month. Sometimes it's going to be 2 to 3 times a month, but it's on their website, Rigid Life. Rigid has their own blog. It's called the Rigid Life blog. They, update with news and athlete information. So I'm going to be one of their first athletes, I believe, doing a blog at Rigid Life. So it's going to kind of track me around the country. It's going to have photos and kind of be my recap of things I'm doing. So the first one's going to go live here, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I still haven't written it yet. We're going to talk a little bit about SEMA, trade show season. Follow me to Ken Blocks up there in Utah. And, and as we roll in and get into race season, the blog's going to kind of track me through the race season, through my dealings with Polaris, while I travel with them this next year, and it's going to be kind of cool. So you'll be able to live my life with me via the Rigid Life blog. So looking forward to that. And thanks to Rigid for working with me on it. I think it should be a fun project. So those of you just tuning in, I am Jim Beaver, and we just got done with Destry Abbott, the two-wheel legend, on air. We've got here in about 20 minutes, we're going to have Matt Martelli calling in. We're going to break down the 10 best off-road drivers in the world. So if you want to give me your input on that, it's at JimBeaver15 on Twitter. But right now we're going to talk a little Race of Champions. And I got to tell you, Race of Champions going down in Barbados at Bushy Park. Bushy Park, the same place that had the Top Gear Festival that Red Bull Global Rallycross ran at, and their very first round of the year this year. And I got to tell you, Bushy Park is it's becoming, I know they've done some renovations, and it's becoming, a destination. I mean, bringing in some big, major events, Race of Champions, Top Gear Festival, Red Bull GRC. I mean, we're talking some legit racing, and, all happening there at Bushy Park. So, got to say, though, Race of Champions, I tuned into the live stream. I know some of you international listeners were saying you were blocked. I guess that's because they were airing it on TV or maybe tape delaying it. I don't know. It was kind of tough to find a live stream feed. I'll tell you that. It was on the Race of Champions website. I had a difficult time finding it. It took a little bit. My dad called me and says, "Hey, where are you seeing this at?" And so I had to go over to his place and show him. But cool. I mean, obviously, Robbie Gordon, you guys know by now, took the Stadium Super Trucks down there. And, all in all, it was an amazing event. I got to give credit to the local, the Barbados team. They surprised me. I mean, those guys were there to, it was game on for them. They definitely had a great showing in their home country, and, maybe a little bit of an edge as they know the circuit and the track. But they had a solid showing. So, to me, they were the biggest surprise of the weekend. But as far as the team competition goes, it was Team Nordic over Team Great Britain. Tom Christensen and Petter Solberg taking the team challenge or the country challenge. Over Team GB of Susie Wolf and David Coulthard. So some, legit competitors there in Coulthard, Susie Wolf, Petter Solberg, Tom Christensen. But it was Team Nordic, Christensen, and Petter who took the win. And then in the individual competitions, it was David Coulthard. He took home the victory. Pascal Werlin finished up in second. So congrats goes out to Team Nordic, David Coulthard, on your victories at Race of Champions. And I got to tell you, I love Race of Champions. Mixes circuit racers, with off-road drivers. I mean, the team from the U.S. was Robbie Gordon, Ryan Hunter-Ray, and Yeah, I'm sorry, losing my train of thought here. Yeah, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Robbie Gordon, and Kurt Busch. And I got to tell you, Kurt Busch, he's digging the dirt here lately. Doing a little stuff at Race of Champions. Obviously, not as much dirt, but ran the Monza Rally Show over there in Italy a week or so ago. So who knows? Maybe we'll see Kurt Busch and doing a little short course. I could definitely see that, getting his short course on, or maybe even desert racing. I think short course make more sense. I know he's shown interest in doing a Red Bull Global Rallycross as well. So you never know. But Kurt Busch, did the Indy 500 this year, so he's looking to expand his horizons. And tell you what, the off-road community, whether it be rally or desert or short course, we would welcome him with open arms. I think it'd be great to see him, dabble in the dirt sports a little more often. But great showing by him. Robbie, I think he was 3 for 3 in some of his heats, and great showing. It was cool, watching the interviews. I mean, everybody that got to wheel a Stadium Super Truck just loved it. The announcers were just over the top, wanting to bring these things to Europe and specifically England. So, I could tell you what, seeing a Stadium Super Truck at Liddon Hill, now we're talking, Liddon Hill, the infamous, rallycross track there, and throwing some steel ramps down around there and bringing some Stadium Super Trucks, maybe tied in with a WRX World Rally Cross Championship round. I could see that working. So you never know. Robbie definitely looking internationally with his Stadium Super Truck schedule being announced. And I guess now that we have brought that up, I guess we can go ahead and talk about the Stadium Super Truck tentative schedule, because it did drop. But kicking things off the end of February, beginning of March in Adelaide, Australia, teaming up with the V8 Supercars is definitely a big move for Robbie, and I applaud him for that. St. Petersburg, Florida in March, end of March. Then we go to April. We got San Diego. It's going to be a stadium event. Going back to the stadiums this year, so I think that should be cool. Long Beach, California, Long Beach Grand Prix into April, then in May going to Phoenix. I believe hopefully it's going to be at Cardinal Stadium there. Detroit, Michigan, that's another one teaming up with IndyCar, and then in June going back to X Games, and then you got Toronto mid-June, and then into September. Looks like some back-to-back events in Southern California. Not back-to-back events, but it looks like there's a couple of dates that may work there in Southern California, and then November 4th and 5th, wrapping things up in Vegas at the SEMA show. So Stadium Super Trucks definitely laying the gauntlet down and trying to make it happen, and I think it's a good mix for them of asphalt venues, dirt venues, stadium. Definitely a good mix of all kinds of different venues there. So looking forward to seeing what happens with Stadium Super Trucks, moving forward. I think year 3, Robbie's looking to really stretch his legs with this series. They brought in financial backing. They've got a new partner that's, I believe, 40% owner. I could be wrong on that. I know Robbie's still majority owner. Maybe it was 45%. Robbie's still owning majority shares of the Stadium Super Trucks company. But definitely some big moves being made by Robbie. You got a marketing firm involved who's the investor. Marketing media conglomerate type of thing. So definitely and somebody that's well versed in event production and sponsorship sales. So I think all good things for Stadium Super Trucks. It's definitely here to stay. So the naysayers that said that it was going to go away, it was going to be a one and done. Robbie Gordon definitely proven people wrong. Stadium Super Trucks is going to be here for a long time, and looking forward to seeing how that series grows. Great TV package, and here's hoping we see some more big name drivers kind of transfer over and do some one-offs in that, or maybe even run the full season. So that is I guess Race of Champions got on a side track there, but yeah, we'll roll right into the other big event of the weekend. We had snowcross happening up there in Fargo, way north in Fargo, and way cold in Fargo. But snowcross. Obviously, this is round 3 and 4, the second race weekend of the year for these boys, and get into some pro light talk here first, but first round pro lights. It was James Johnstead taking the win. Trevor Layton in second. Travis Mueller, Corey Watkinson, and Zach Mason rounding out your top 5. And then going into the second round of competition for the lights, it was Elias Ishoel. I always butcher that name. I'm sorry. But he took home the win. Zach Mason in second, James Johnstead in third, Jake Angrove fourth, and Travis Mueller in fifth. So that was your pro lights. Getting up to the big dogs, though, and the storyline is who or when is who's going to beat Tucker, when's he going to lose? That seems to be all anybody cares about. And once again, it was Tucker Hibbert taking home that win. Tim Tremblay in second, David Jonas in third, Logan Christensen and Lincoln Lemieux rounding out your top 5. And then going into the second round of competition for the open class on the weekend. And once again, it was Tucker Hibbert. So Tucker taking home that win. Ross Martin in second. Cody Cam rounding out your podium. Lincoln Lemieux and Adam Renheim finishing up in fifth. So skipping over to the points for snowcross, we are 4 rounds deep into this national championship. And pro light right now at the top, it's Elias Iswell with the lead with 144 points, 1 point back. Zach Mason, Trevor Layton in third, James Johnstead fourth, and Jake Angove finishing up in fifth. So first through third, only 4 points separating them, and then back to fifth, we've only got looks like about 17 points separating them. So definitely, the lights right now got a heck of a battle going on in that class, but. Going up to the open class, a little bit different story. Tucker Hibbert, he's just dominating once again, as Tucker does. 173 points, he's leading. Kyle Pauline and Tim Tremblay in a tie for that second spot with 136 points. And then Lincoln Lemieux in fourth, 123, and Logan Christensen rounding out your top 5 with 120 points. So at this point, Tucker Hibbert's starting to pull away a little bit. But he's definitely still catchable. But, these guys, how Tucker is. Tucker, tends to check out. And, he's definitely proved he can do it. And, who's going to catch him? I think that's, that's the big, the big talk. Who is going to be able to catch Tucker Hibbert? The guy he just walks away with things, so you got to watch him. Another event, I know last week we talked about, we were going to do Henderson and had such a good time up there at Hoonigan Racing and had so many great epic interviews. We didn't get a chance to do it, so we're going to break down some Henderson 250 results and the finale from Best in the Desert. Winning in Pro Open Motorcycle, Ricky Brabeck and Robbie Bell. Second was Nick Burleson, Axel Pearson. And then in your Ironman Expert, it was Tony Gira. In your Over 30 Pro, it was Chris Brown and Tim Fitzpatrick. In Over 40 Expert, Trevor Pacheco took home the win there. In your 250 Pro, Jeremy Purvines, Curtis Bradley taking home the win. Open Expert, your win went to Nick Gus, Don Campbell. Winners in Quad Pro, Cody Mitchell, Colt Brinkerhoff. Quad Expert went to Don Higby and Michael Swift Jr. Your Over 40 Pro, Chad Thornton, Kyle Abney. Ironman Amateur, Eric Kirby. And going down here to Over 30 Expert, Joseph DeLucci, Kellen Hardy, Charles McCrae. Quad Ironman expert Zach Richardson, 250 expert David Watts, Chuck Harvey, Tyler Harvey, and Open amateur Jorge and Jesse Trevino took home the win from Parker, Arizona. So little Parker love there for the Trevino brothers. And Quad Ironman amateur Clark Marcy taking home the win there. So that was your two-wheel competition and your winners in the two-wheel classes. Moving up to race number one for the car and trucks, and Class 3000. Your winner was Tim Brown, Kevin Maxson. 2400 Tim Carolyn took home the win there. 1800 Sportsman Andy Lambert. Your UTV winner, 1900 Pro Scott Kiger, taking home that win. Class 6000 Ben Abadi the third, taking home that win. 8100 Johnny Webster once again winning in stock full. Class 2000 Day Daniel, Josh Daniels' wife, and I got to tell you, Day, I need to get Day on air. I've known Day for years and years. I mean, well over 10 years I've known Day, and I tell you, this girl can wheel a car like none other. And I think it's time to get, we had Josh on air a few month and a half ago. Time to get Day on air, I think, and talk to her. But she can definitely wheel a car, and good to see her back on the podium. Class 1100, also known as Score Light. Steve Waters taking home the win there. 3700 went to Billy Bunch. 1700 Eric Hayden. And looks like 1971, that's SR1 UTV. Matt Krimple taking home that win. 1900 Sportsman Jeff Carey taking home the win. And that winds up our race number one. But the big dogs, we still got them left. The unlimited classes running at Henderson, and that would be your final race there. And Jason Voss, as we announced last week, took home the win, the overall, and wrapped up that championship. Josh Daniels, second overall. He's got that twin turbo dialed, and super good run for him, finishing up in second overall, second in trick truck. First in class 1500, third overall, Eduardo Laguna in the RPM car, and then fourth overall, Derek Spruill. Fifth overall went to Dale Dondell. Sixth overall, Troy Vest, Sean Kroll. And seventh, Harley Lettner. Eighth, ninth went to TJ Flores, Justin Lofton, rounding out your top 10. Other winners, Class 10 went to Cody Freeman. Man, those Freeman boys, they are dialed in Vegas. Class 8000, Don German. 72 years old, Don German. So great to see him still out there kicking. 7200, Steve LaRosa in the EcoBoost taking home that win. And then cruising down here, and looks like that wraps up our winners. So looking at Best in the Desert champions for this year. Let me pull this up real quick here on my trusty monitor. But Class 10,000 or Class 10, Cody Freeman taking home that championship. So congrats goes out to him. And Class 1100, Steve Melton taking home the championship there. 1200, the champion was Robert Johnston. Class 1400 trick truck, Jason Voss. Carl Beal second, Cardi Beal third, Steve Ologist, Troy Vest, Sean Kroll, Adam Ray Lund, Kevin Curtis, Josh Daniel, TJ Flores. That's the rundown in trick truck. John Walker, man, he took home first, but talk about a tightly contested battle between Walker, Griffith, Lofton, and Keesar there in the Class 1 or Class 1500 ranks. Went down to the wire, last event of the season. Rob Subert, your 1700 class champion. Class 2000, Brittany Myers taking home that win, or that championship. 2400 was Tim Carolyn. 3000, Tim Brown. 3,700, Rob White. 4,400, Mel Wade III. Gary Lunsford. 4,500, your Class 5,000 was Jacob Maurer. 5,500, Mike Dillard. Jeff Mortis was 6,000 class champ. Tony Smiley edging out Jerry Zayden for the Class 6,100 title. And 7,100, James Berman. Jordan Brenthal taking home the 7,200 class championship. McCrae Glass once again in Class 8. Johnny Webster in 8,100. Derek Dixon in Class 9. So your motorcycle champs, Jeremy Purvines, Chris Brown, Todd Abrowski, Ricky Braybeck, your open class champ, David Watts, Trevor Erickson, Tony Guerra, Sebastian Giobetti, Joseph DeLucci, Trevor Pacheco, Dana Reed, Mark Welrick, not Mark Wyrick, and it looks like that's let's see here. We got David Scott, also a champ, Clark Marcy, Don Higbee, Brandon Schuler, your UTV champ. Man, that was another hotly contested one, just edging out Scott Kiger. 850 was Scott Martinez. And you got Matt Kremple in SR1 with that championship. UTV sportsman Jeff Carey taking home that win, and that is your champions. Now, a lot of you're going to ask, why did I run down, give every single name, every class champion, every winner? You know what? Because personally, I feel like all these guys deserve it. They're out there banging doors, and a lot of them, if a mention on this radio show is the only credit they get for winning a championship, it's makes me feel a little bit better. A lot of these guys are out there doing their thing in the desert, and they don't get a lot of notoriety, a little publicity. It's the least I can do to mention their names on air. So I've had people complain about the way I do results once in a while, and that's the reason why I'm going to give a rundown of every winner in a Best in the Desert race, because a lot of these guys get no publicity. Least I can do is mention their name on air. So if you disagree with me, you know what? It is what it is. I've had a lot of guys give me flack over it. It takes too long. Why do you do that? Because they deserve it. That's why. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk with Matt Martelli, break down the 10 best off-road drivers in the world on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, and schooled by Dirtfish Rally School.
Very few companies can call themselves an industry leader. Racetech Seats is one of the few. It doesn't matter if you race off-road, rally, touring cars, sprint cars, drag racing, or boats. Chances are, Racetech Seats have a seat that will keep you safe, secure, and comfortable, allowing you to concentrate on winning. Racetech Seats meet and exceed the FIA crash test standard, are Hans compatible, flame resistant, and offer full containment, meaning you can race knowing you are protected by the best. More information can be found at www.racetech-usa.com. That's www.racetech-usa.com. Racetech Seats. Our passion is keeping you safe.
Saturday, December 20th. It's a Jersey Boys celebration.
Let's hang on to what we got.
Live in the Blue Water Showroom, the music of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, starring the California Boys. Live Saturday, December 20th. Doors open at 3, show starts at 4. Tickets $30 general admission, $50 VIP. Online at BlueWaterFun.com or in the gift shop. A Jersey Boys celebration in the Blue Water Showroom, starring the California Boys. Only at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
The #1 off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet now has its own app. The Down and Dirty Radio Show official app is now available in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, and Amazon Kindle Store. Just search Down and Dirty Radio Show, and you'll have all the latest news, results, and blockbuster interviews from off-road, rally, drifting, supercross, and snowcross at your fingertips. Hours of interviews from the best drivers and athletes on Earth, such as Travis Pastrana, Ken Block, Tanner Faust, Brian Deegan, Robbie Gordon, and Jolene Van Vute are yours at the touch of a button. Download today and never miss an interview again.
Did you know that Parker Motor Company is one of the best places to shop for new tires for your car or truck? With a full tire shop and advanced equipment, we can outfit your vehicle with over 13 brands of tires, including Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Yokohama, Falcon, and General. We offer a low price guarantee that will meet or beat any competitor's price. We'll check your alignment for free, and we also offer tire care for any road hazards you may come across. If you need new tires, Parker Motor Company is your only choice. Parker Motor Company, your hometown Ford and Lincoln dealer.
Okay, when you're on the job, you're making tough decisions around the clock. Well, here's an easy one. Ford F-Series. Under the hood, F-Series trucks have the power and fuel efficiency you need. Translation? You can always tackle the toughest jobs without losing a fortune at the pumps. But it's not just all brawn and no brains. F-Series trucks also have a cutting-edge selection of smart technology that keeps you connected, focused, and informed, all while behind the wheel. That's why, on average, every 42 seconds, someone forks over their hard-earned cash to get a new F-150 or Super Duty. No wonder they're the best-selling brand of trucks in America for 37 years in a row. The competition never stood a chance. Ford F-150, Ford Super Duty. #1 for 37 years straight. Not convinced? Get behind the wheel of an F-150 or Super Duty and decide for yourself. Go online to your local FordDealers.com, then visit your Arizona Ford dealer for a test drive today. Based on U.S. sales from October 2012 through October 2013.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, and schooled by Dirtfish Rally School. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and we've had Destry Abbott on air. We've talked some snowcross, race of champions, some best in the desert Henderson, and next up we are going to have my good friend Matt Martelli from the Mint 400 and Mad Media Design. He's going to be calling in. We're going to dissect the top 10 off-road drivers in the world, and I got to tell you, there is a lot of debate amongst this. I know us just internally talking about it. It was pretty interesting. I mean, the boys from Race Desert, Matt, myself, talking about breaking things down. And like I said earlier, when you encompass rally raid, rally cross, stage rally, you get everything, you get everything going on, and it's up for debate. If we're just to do a desert driver, top 10, be easy, but you bring in all these different disciplines, and it makes it kind of difficult. So looks like we got Matt Martelli calling in right now. We're going to pick him up. How's everything going, Matt?
Good. How's everything with you, Jim?
Just recovering back from Utah, here in Arizona, and getting back into the grind of things. It's I like to call it silly season. Anybody that's as well as I do. Now's the time that deals are done for next year, so it's kind of wrapping up everything and planning out 2015.
Yeah. It's year's coming to a close, but a lot of good off-road racing this year, and one big race left that actually goes into the next season with Dakar. So I'm looking forward to it. Oh, yeah, and Frozen Rush. Let's not forget about that. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and I love Frozen Rush. One thing I give Red Bull credit for is, they went out and said, it would have been really easy for them to say, all right, we want our Red Bull guys in here, and then we're going to fill the field with a bunch of guys that don't have energy drink sponsorships. And Red Bull just said, nah, the hell with that. We want the best of the best. And it didn't matter if you got Rockstar, Monster. They said, bring it. We want the best of the best at this event. And that's what makes this event so cool, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool, different format. It exposes off-roading to an entirely different audience. So I think it's really cool.
Yeah, me too. And I gotta tell you, I know you guys and Joey D have really heavily involved in the UTV industry and really helped grow those. And it was pretty cool. Just had Destry Abbott on air a little bit ago, and I mean, he's literally a living legend when it comes to two wheels. And Destry was saying, we talked about UTVs, and I said, well, I got to ask you. I said, UTV industry, is it helping or hurting the motorcycle industry? And and Destry goes, it's absolutely helping. He's like, it's we called it the gateway drug. He's like, these families go out there now, and the kids, they're out there in the desert, they're out there at the dunes. He's like, the kids see us riding bikes. He's like, now all of a sudden the parents are buying a 50 for the kid. He's like, definitely, it's one of the best things to happen to the off-road industry in a long time, and this is coming from a two-wheel guy,
Sure.
So
no, that's it's really cool. You know, I mean, look, it's all about getting more eyeballs to off-road as far as I'm concerned, and you know, whether that's with bikes or UTVs, you know, I'm welcoming all of it.
Yeah, for sure. So, talking about, the off-road industry as a whole, you know, the reason why we've got you on is, there's a feature just dropped on racedesert.com this morning, top 10 off-road racers in the world. And, this, like I kind of gave a segue and said, you know, the cool thing about this is it's not just desert racing, it's not just short course. We're, encompassing all facets of off-road, whether it be stage rally, rally cross, or rally raid. And, it's a pretty cool feature.
Yeah, I mean, look, we did this a year ago, and you know, it was definitely controversial because it's really difficult to compare these disciplines to one another and the different fields. But you know, we feel it's necessary to have this conversation and talk about all these different disciplines. You know, the world's changed, and I think for the better. Now we have this great thing called the internet that you can just log on and see what people are doing in different countries and their interpretation of off-road. So, you know, it's all in the dirt, and it's all, four wheels. So I think it's great. And, what we've seen over the last couple of years is, drivers starting to cross over into different disciplines, which we applaud. You know, I really hope more WRC guys come and race the Mint and race, Baja and, race short course, and vice versa. You know, like really what we're after is, figuring out who is the best, and in multiple disciplines and not just one style. So, it's a cool conversation because it's really, it's a lot of, we put a lot of thought into it and measurement, but at the end of the day, I mean, this is our opinion. So you're entitled to have your own opinion. And that's what makes the conversation great.
Yeah, for sure. So kicking this off, I know, we'll start with number 10. We'll get the honorable mentions afterwards, but kicking things off, number 10 on the list, and this is up at race-desert.com for all of you listening in if you want to see it in the flesh and see the reasoning behind it written out. But it's on the front page of Race Desert, dropped this morning. But getting to number 10, Andy McMillan. I mean, Andy, he's only run a small handful of events this year, but every time he's in the truck, he walks away with an overall victory.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough good things about Andy. I wish he would race full time and race multiple disciplines, but I understand, life is busy. But yeah, 3 races this year, won all 3 of them. And, the 2 big ones, obviously the Baja 1000, which was, he was part of the super team, which was fantastic to watch him and Rob McCackern and Voss team up, and just, they had a perfect run. I don't know that this will ever happen again where, the confluence of things come together and just, you get 3 of the best off-roaders in the world and, you have a clean run like they did this year. So that was remarkable. But tooting my own horn here, I think the most important win was the Mint 400. He came back after some time off and got into a truck. And, people expected him to be a competitor, but I don't think anybody expected him to overall it, and I certainly did it. And arguably it's the most stacked field. Actually, not arguably, it is the most stacked field of trophy trucks or trick trucks ever in history. So to beat that field, in a loop race where you have traffic and that particular course is pretty unforgiving. So I think that was a big one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, nobody really saw that coming. I mean, we all know Andy's lightning fast. I mean, but he's been away. He was kind of forgotten. I hate to say that, but he was kind of forgotten about. He comes in and, I know he was only supposed to do, I think, half the race, and guy just, he got in a groove, and Steve let him in there and, and walked away with it. So I agree with you there. Moving on to number 9. David Higgins, David Higgins, I know David personally. He's a good guy, but, 4 straight Rally America titles, and we're talking about walking away with them. I mean, with victories. I mean, you got guys like Pastrana showing up, Block, Antoine Lestage, and he's just dominating North American Rally with that Subaru.
Yeah, Higgins is he's one of those guys all the drivers know about, but very few people outside of that really know about him. And, I had the fortunate opportunity to ride with him at a test, and I can tell you that it was the absolutely fastest I've ever been in a rally car in my life. I mean, I was scared, and it was remarkable. And when we got to the end of the test, he said, "What'd you think?" And I said, "I'm glad we didn't crash." And he said, "Oh, come on, that was only 80%." So, I've been fortunate that I've been able to ride with a lot of different drivers in testing, and he is definitely one of the fastest. It's the fastest I've ever been in a rally car. So, the guy's a remarkable driver. He's super consistent. And, just a great all-around driver. Again, we're probably going to say this to every single guy, but we'd love to see him come try desert and short course. I think he'd do well at both of those.
Well, and I know with David, I've actually had this conversation. Obviously, he went and he did, Red Bull GRC, a one-off there, did super well there. I mean, I think he took a medal in Gymkhana Grid. So, but I've talked with him, and him and I, it's literally set. He's going to test my trophy truck at some point. I'm like, he's like, I just want to drive one, and I'm like, you just want to drive one? I'll let you drive mine. I mean, he's probably going to wheel it better than I can, But so yeah, I know he's got interest in desert racing. Desert racing specifically, I think it's just getting those doors to open up. But yeah, I know at some point in 2015, I mean, we're going to get him in my truck and let him wheel it for a day out in the desert. It's just when schedules line up type of thing. But he has that interest, so would love to see him in desert racing.
Absolutely.
So moving on, number 8, Rob McCachran. I mean, like it says to begin with, Rob is Rob. Rob's a legend.
Yeah, I mean, this is the guy that everybody shows up to beat. I mean, he's the guy that everybody measures themselves against. It was funny earlier this year, I did an interview with Deegan, and he basically said, that he wants to. That was what he shows up to the track after Rob, and so Rob's got a big target on his back. He had a little bit of a tough year. Some solid wins, some solid runs, but overall, Rob McCachran is hands down one of the best guys in the world, if not the best.
All right, and Rob, I mean, he's stepping into King of the Hammers now. I know I talked with Courtney over there at Poison Spider and actually Larry at SEMA, and they told me Rob was stepping in to run their rig at King of the Hammers. So stepping into a top level seat there. And I know he's been out with Larry actually doing a lot of training. I mean, he's doing his homework. They said they're impressed with the way he, it's not going to be a show up and let's, finish. Rob wants to go out and win this. I mean, predictions for King of the Hammers with Rob.
Yeah, which is awesome. I mean, King of the Hammers is an awesome event. Robbie's done it. BJ's done it. But they've yet to, finish very well. So, if somebody can go there from desert and really cross over to the podium, I definitely think it's Rob. Just the way his mind thinks, the technical aspect that he's gained over years and years of seat time, I'm sure he's going to do well. I mean, I love watching him, whatever he's racing. So I hope he does well at King of the Hammers and beyond. I know he's going to be racing Best in the Desert. He's going to be racing some score races, short course. He's racing Pro 2 and Pro 4. I'm sure he'll do some SST races, and hopefully we see him in, even some WRC or some World Rallycross,
Yeah, and I know Rob. He actually said, because Tanner's been doing some short course in one of Rob's trucks, and I know I when I had Rob on air, he told Tanner, he's like, I'm letting you drive my truck. You got to let me drive your car. So Rob is definitely he's interested in doing some GRC if he gets the opportunity.
Yeah, which is cool because obviously there's a lot of racers that their goal at some point is to get to NASCAR, and I know back in the day, Rob had some opportunities, but I'm really glad he's, here in off-road and basically, the king of off-road racing. But yeah, we'd love to see him race in some rallycross events and, maybe even Dakar. I mean, how amazing would it be to have Rob McCachran racing Dakar? That'd be incredible.
Yeah, and I think, he's one of those guys. I mean, he's not, king of social media or anything like that. I mean, Rob has always been, he just shows up and gets the job done. But I think on a global scale, he doesn't have this ungodly social media following. But if you ask anybody in the world that races off-road who Rob McCachran is, they all know who he is.
Yeah, and that's that's a part of why we're doing this too, is like, there's some guys on this list that people probably don't know, and we want to give them props and expose them to the entire world.
Yeah. So moving on, number 7, and I know the Greaves family, pretty well. I don't know him real well, but CJ Greaves, I mean, this kid, he's come out of virtually nowhere. I mean, everybody knows Johnny, but CJ, I mean, the past couple of years, this kid's legit.
Yeah, this is a funny one, and it's personal for me because I remember when, about a year ago, Johnny decided to put him in the Pro 2. And, I literally told Johnny, like, hey, don't you think you should let him be a kid a little bit longer? And he just nodded his head, at me and said, no, And, everybody expects somebody to come into a new class and to have some teething issues and spend a couple of years figuring out. And it really wasn't that much time for CJ. I mean, he was right in it, competing right away. And, and this year is just, he's had a phenomenal year, and he's proved that, even at his young age, he's super mature on the racetrack and just, he's an incredible racer already, and I'm looking forward to watching him grow and get better and better. And, I've heard some rumblings of him, getting tryouts, NASCAR teams and stuff like that, which is cool, but only as long as he keeps off-road racing.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's got dirt in his blood. I could see him maybe toying with it, but I think I definitely think he's going to be an off-road for a long time to come, and I'm excited. I mean, this kid, he's not even 18 yet. I want to see mid-20s what he's going to be doing. I think you look at kids like him and Sheldon Creed and Mitchell DeYoung. I mean, they're so young. I mean, what are they going to be doing at 25?
Yeah, they're going to be fast. I mean, he's part of this whole new generation of kids who've come up and started racing, trophy carts and UTVs at a very young age. And, it's exciting because we've never had this before in off-road,
Yeah, I agree with you. It's total, totally new, and it's going to be great to see what this generation can do. Moving on to number 6, Brian Deegan, and Brian Deegan. I mean, this guy, you talk with him, and I mean, he's focused. He doesn't like to lose. I mean, and I think when he came over into rally and off road, he got some flack. He's a freestyle motocross guy. He's never going to do anything. I mean, you talk to Brian now, and I think people, you think about Brian, and it used to be you think, motorcycles. I mean, you think about Brian now, and you think off-road and rally cars. You don't even really think about the motorcycle aspect anymore.
No, I mean, look, again, this one's also personal because, when he came in, I warned him and I said, look, this is not easy. The amount of logistics that you have to put together just to get a race truck to a track, is incredible. Competing at the top level, it's really difficult. And, the field in Lucas has just gotten so stacked in Pro Light, Pro 2, and in Pro 4 as well. So it's been really cool to watch him evolve into a champion. And he's not quitting anytime soon. He wants to do more. He wants to be the guy who has the all-time best, winning, the all-time best winning championships. And, he's on fire. It's awesome to watch.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Brian is I've got to know him a little bit this past year, and he's grooming his kids. I mean, it's definitely a family affair. You go out, and I mean, he's there, his kids are there, his wife's there. I mean, his daughter's racing. I mean, she's dominating in trophy carts. So I mean, it definitely, I think the Deegan family, you're going to see him in short course, well into the future.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's cool to see him with his kids, and off-roading is a family sport. So. That's all part of it as well.
Yeah. Moving on to number 5, Petter Solberg. And, this one, Petter, I mean, he's a world, he's a WRC champ. He goes into rallycross, and I think everybody thought he was going to be good. First year, on the global scale, running the World Rallycross Championship, he's just dominated.
Yeah, I mean, first off, Petter's a super cool guy. I had the fortune of spending some time with him in Germany, and he's definitely interested in off-road and rally raids. So, it's been really crappy to see him without a ride for WRC. So, I was really glad to see that he put something together for World Rallycross and, went out there and just dominated, and that's an incredibly stacked field. To be that consistent at that level is extremely difficult.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's, you look at the list of guys competing there. I mean, ex-GRC champs. I mean, WRC champs. You get all kinds of drivers coming in. And, for him to be it's such a high level. I mean, already talk of, I know a WRC return. You've heard talk about Dakar. So here's hoping we see him, diversify in the next year or two.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just hope that he continues to get rides so we can watch him race.
Yeah, exactly. He's definitely fun to watch. Moving on to number 4, last year's Dakar champ, Nanny Roma. This guy, he's done it on a bike. He's done it in a car now. I mean, definitely a legit desert racer by any means.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a hard one because, is it more difficult to win 14 races throughout the year, or is it more difficult to win 14 races back to back? And that's essentially what Dakar is 14 stages that are almost as long as the Baja 500, with varying terrain. So finishing it's a feat. Winning it is astronomical. So it counts for a lot. He had a great finish, albeit it was pretty controversial. And going into this year, we're going to see, his former teammates battle against him, in a Peugeot. So it's going to be even more exciting this year.
Yeah, I'm super stoked on Dakar this year. And, it's shaping up to be an epic race, and we'll see if he can repeat. Moving on to number 3, and, I think this is nobody's surprise. Top desert racer on the list, Jason Voss. I mean, the past 2 years, I don't want to say he's come out of nowhere, but, we know he made some refinements to his truck and his program. And in the past 2 years, I mean, he's been absolutely dominant. He's won just about everything in Best in the Desert, I think, aside from the Mint 400. Vegas to Reno, he's now won the Baja 1000. I mean, you go to a race and it's, Jason Voss is the guy to beat.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's paid his dues. He raced Pro Truck and some other stuff, and he's just come up, and, he's just gotten better and better, and they've really got their equipment dialed and their whole program's dialed. So he's been crushing it this year. He's been super consistent, and really just right there waiting, for one of the lead guys to make a mistake, and then he gets them, and he's done it to pretty much everybody, all the big guys. He's got them, he's beat Robbie, he's beat Rob Mack, he's beat a lot of guys. So I'm looking forward to seeing him race continually and, do some other stuff too. I've had a long conversation with him about what's next, and, he's got a list of wins that he wants to get under his belt, but, another Best of the Desert championship this year, it really doesn't hurt things.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to number 2, and, you want to talk about, drivers of the year. I mean, Kyle LeDuc, what he's done in Pro 4 this year is, I don't know. I mean, I've followed short course for a long time, and I've never seen somebody, just absolutely crush the field like he has in 2014.
Yeah, look, Kyle LeDuc is, there's not a better word to describe him other than fierce. The guy just is full tilt once he gets on the track, and he's just a killer. I mean, the irony is that his good friend and my good friend, Rick Huseman, who's not with us anymore, had the same driving style, and I think that's part of where, he picked it up. But, man, he gets on the truck, he gets on the track and the truck, he means business. So it's awesome, and he's just shredding. I mean, I don't really, see anybody stopping him anytime soon. Fortin kind of came out of nowhere and did really well. And the Pro 4 field's getting more and more stacked. More and more people are building Pro 4s to come challenge him. But his monster Toyota is dialed. I think it's going to be a hard package to beat.
Well, and talking with Kyle, I mean, he's got a new truck that's been sitting there, and that's supposed to be even more refined than his current truck. It's just where's the limit? I mean, he's just dialed.
Yeah, I mean, he did some little playing in Pro 2, which I honestly don't think that was a good idea, but. Yeah, I mean, look, why broke it if it's, why broke it? Why, fix it if it's not broken, So, again, I just see this upcoming year it's going to be really difficult to see anybody touch him,
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to number one, and I think this is definitely going to be a controversial one on the Race Desert forums. But I don't know. I had him at number one. I think anybody that follows motorsports, dirt sports as a whole worldwide would have to agree. WRC, I mean, it's arguably the top level of competition. Sebastian Ogier, this year 18 to 13, wins 17 to 26 rounds the past 2 years. This guy's just dominating.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all know that WRC is pretty much the top level of all racing, really, I feel. I mean, some people will argue that Formula One is, and I would say, off-road racing is more difficult. You deal with more variables. So, I get that everybody, who's necessarily a desert racer or short course racer, they think their disciplines are the most difficult. But when you're splitting hairs, against time, I think that is definitely the most difficult form of racing. As well as that, it's a stacked field. It's, a global level. There's a lot of pressure for those guys to perform. And, Ogier, other than Loeb, nobody can touch him right now.
Yeah, and talking about WRC, I mean, I've spent some time in rally cars, and what we do in desert racing, I mean, it takes a ton of skill set, especially at the trophy truck level. But rally cars is just a totally different animal. I mean, desert racing, there's a little bit of room for error. In a rally car, when you're going through these roads and stuff, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, the precision, about rally cars. That's why I love going to rally schools, because it refines you and makes you just that much better. And I think anybody that's ever spent time in both will side with a rally car being just a little bit more, difficult to drive.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult. I think the cars are a lot more delicate than what we're using in off-road. So I think you're right. I think it takes real discipline and precision, and you can see it when rally drivers come over to off-road, like Armin Schwartz, him winning San Felipe, which is a trophy truck race because of the, size of the whoops and holes. He did it because he had extremely good rally notes, and he drove a super disciplined race in a Class 1 buggy and beat everybody. So it just shows you, that level of discipline. And so I think that, naming him the number one off-roader in the world is really a no-brainer for me. That's not to say that, somebody couldn't knock him off with, a set of wins in the desert or wins in the desert and short course, a la Rob McCachran, or, I'm hoping that the rumors of Andy McMillan being full-time are true. He could definitely do it. So, 2015 is going to be an exciting year in off-road.
Yeah, for sure. A couple of honorable mentions. We'll just touch on them real quick. Number one, Sheldon Creed. I know you've worked with him. I mean, this kid, definitely one of the up-and-comers like we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough good things about this kid. He's an incredible driver, really great family, and really everything you put him in, he does well. He had his debut this year in a trophy truck at the Baja 1000. So he got thrown into the deep end, and he had a little bit of a rough time, but in the end, he got the truck to Robbie, and it was a little banged up, but that's part of the deal. It's, I don't think there's any easy way to learn off-road. You got to go and break stuff and crash.
Yeah, for sure. Number two on the list, Stefan Petterhansel, and he had an off year last year and took home second at Dakar. So that's enough said right there, right?
Yeah, that's not bad for an off year. I mean, that was part of the mini controversy at the end, the team orders that came down and told everybody to check their speeds and try and finish 1, 2, 3, which changed the finishing order of Dakar, arguably. So, Petter Hemmel's gnarly, and now that he's got his own ride with Peugeot, he's going to be going after Nani and the Mini. So it's going to be interesting. I think one of the things that we all hope to see is more manufacturer involvement. With off-road racing, Dakar, desert racing, and short course racing, because nobody buys a truck because it races on pavement. They buy them because they've raced off-road. We're the cool guys here, and hopefully the manufacturers are paying attention. But it's going to be exciting. I mean, there's other things we want to see out of Dakar. I really want to see an American team go and do a full effort backed by a factory. Imagine you take that super team that was put together for Ball 1000. You put those 3 guys in vehicles that could win the Dakar. They could definitely win it. So Dakar's going to be interesting this year. There's going to be a lot of drama, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I guess this would be a proper time to give a plug. The guys at Race Desert, I know Klaus and some of them, they're going to be traveling down there and doing some top-notch coverage for the fans there at racedesert.com, right?
Yeah, so we have full-on Dakar coverage. We're stepping it up again this year, and we're sending a crew down there to chase the entire race. So pretty excited about that. And again, it just speaks to off-roading being global. It's a global sport. It's a global culture. We want to showcase everything.
Yeah. All right, moving on. A couple other honorable mentions. Ken Block on the list. I know a lot of people. He's got the lovers and he's got the haters. A lot of people think he's just a one-trick pony with Gymkhana, but the past year or two, he's got some legit wins and made a hell of a run at the GRC Championship this year.
Yeah, look, everybody can say what they want about Ken, but the fact is, he proved how fast he was this year, and he did it in a pretty stacked field. So the beauty of racing is, it's proof. So if you're running your mouth or doing whatever, and you show up and you're in the back of the pack, hey, that's the deal. But he wasn't, and he did remarkably well, and I think he'll continue to get better and better. I mean, I think World Rallycross favors younger drivers just because of how quick everything is, similar to short course. But man, he had a great year. He was right there, almost won the championship, and I think he'll continue to do better. And again, love him or hate him, he's good for the sport. He exposes rally and rallycross to, a global culture. And arguably he's done more, for rally than all the leagues combined, especially here in America.
Yeah, for sure. Johnny Weeman, Yoni Weeman, I guess all depends on where you're from, how you pronounce it. I know they want us to call him Johnny here in the States, but this kid, GRC champion this year, supercar. Last year dominated the Lights Series, went undefeated. Prodigy of Marcus Grunholm, still a young kid. I mean, sky's the limit, I think, here.
Yeah, I mean, look, these European kids that grow up, racing karts and racing, other forms of racing over there at such a young age, they're just fast. It's where the majority of the Formula One drivers come from. It's where most of the WRC guys come from. It's going to continue to evolve.
Yeah, and then another one that may surprise some people on the honorable mention list, but definitely another young kid coming up, Jarrett Brooks.
Yeah, Jarrett Brooks. I mean, this kid seemingly came out of nowhere. It was funny because the first time I met him, he was hanging out in Sheldon Creed's camp, and his dad was like, "Hey, my kid's really fast." I'm like, "Sure, okay, but have you seen Sheldon Creed?" And Jarrett had a great year. He won the championship over in Torque, and proved that really wasn't a fluke. He came back over to Lucas Oil and finished out the season there, just spanking everybody. And Pro Lights is a crazy field right now because it's so stacked, and you have the squirrel problem in the back. So if you're in the back, the chances of you getting taken out by some of the squirrels is pretty high.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. Pro Light is just Yeah, it's wild. I mean, anybody that can win a race there, I give them props because it's just so nutty. Anything can happen in off-road, but in pro light, anything really can happen. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the older guys because the new crop of kids that have been coming up to race in pro light are, they're just incredible, and a lot of them are pretty well funded to boot. So I think we're going to see a lot of guys come from this class and move up to Pro 2 and Pro 4, and like with Sheldon, hopefully desert racing as well.
Yeah. Well, and, it's quick before we let you go. I know, some of the stuff you're involved in, obviously Mint 400 just announced UTV World Championship. Polaris RZR stepping in as presenting sponsor of that. Any surprises in store for us for the Mint 400 or the UTV, World Championship?
Well, the Mint 400, we have a whole bunch of stuff to announce, so stay tuned on that. I can't talk about all of that yet, but we're refining some things, and we're always trying to evolve the Mint to make it a better experience for the drivers and the spectators. The UTV World Championship, man, this is going to be a great event. It's the Laughlin course, which everybody loves. We actually got a couple miles of old course back. It hasn't been run in 20 years, so it's going to be a great event. The coolest thing about it is if you come out, you can go drive the course. We have a poker run that's going on Thursday. So if all you need to go do it is a UTV and a helmet, so you can actually get on the course and take a look at what these guys are going to race on Saturday. So, it's going to be a great event. And, Polaris is the title sponsor, which was incredible. Not only did they step in as title sponsor, but they gave us 2 brand new Polaris RZR 1000s to give away to the winners of each race. So the cool thing about this race is that we're combining short course racing with desert racing. So there's 2 different primary races. You'll have one desert race that happens on a 17-mile loop, and then you're going to have a short course style race that's a 6-mile loop. So our goal is to just get everything involved in UTV racing all together in one place and have a big event, a big race, and decide who's the best.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely. I think the cool thing about that is it's one of those things. You're embracing the community. Bring out your razors, get involved. Drive the course, watch the race. I mean, lots to do. I mean, if you're involved in the UTV community or the off-road community, definitely a can't miss event. Whether you're racing, spectating, or whatever. I think that's what's cool about this. Something for everybody.
Yeah, and the thing I'd mention about both the Mint 400 and UTV World Championship is they're free to spectate. So you can't beat that. I mean, it costs a couple $1,000s to go to a NASCAR event nowadays. So, come spend your money on food and drink and have a good time and bring the family. So,
yeah, for sure. Well, Matt, I appreciate you taking the time to call in, buddy. I know you're busy with a ton of things going on right now, but always a good time, and looking forward to kicking off 2015. And we're just a couple of weeks away from the Best in the Desert Parker 250. I think Polaris stepping in as presenting sponsor of that, and we've got some pre-run action for Best in the Desert that weekend. So we're only a couple of weeks away from kicking off 2015.
Yeah, no, it's going to be an exciting year, and we still have a couple of things going on through the end of the year. So that's good. But hey, this is our opinion. So you got an opinion? Get on racedesert.com and tell us what you think.
Yep, absolutely. Looking forward to the debate on there and hearing what the fans think. And always fun. And we'll do it again in 12 months.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having us.
All right. Thanks a lot, Matt.
All
right, that was Matt Martelli with Mad Media, Mint 400, RaceDesert.com, the UTV World Championship, man of many hats, and always fun to get him on air and dissect the 10 best off-road drivers in the world. So head over to race-desert.com and weigh in on the top 10 off-road drivers in the world. We want your opinion, want your feedback. Who should be on the list? Who should be left off? Definitely a solid list of drivers, and looking forward to the debate. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got a lot of news to cover as we wrap up this edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, lit up by Rigid Industries, and schooled by Dirtfish Rally School.
Dirtfish Rally School is the premier rally driving school on the West Coast, located in Snoqualmie, Washington. If you are looking for a ton of fun with world-class driving instructors honing your skills, Dirtfish is the place for you. Dirtfish has 315 acres of playground with mixed surfaces for your driving experience. You can spend anywhere from 2 hours to 3 intense days of instruction refining your driving and racing skills. Whether you are looking for credits towards your Rally America license, honing your racing skills, or just having a fun time, Dirtfish is your school. Your classroom is behind wheel of a 300 horsepower rally-prepped Subaru STI. These cars have protective cages, suspension modifications, and are built for one purpose: to push you to your limit. By the end of your time at Dirtfish, you will have the confidence to rally with the best. Whether you're looking for a thrilling first-time rally experience or to increase your knowledge and time in the driver's seat, Dirtfish has a driving experience to suit your needs. For any information on their classes, corporate events, or their facility, check them out on the web at www.dirtfish.com or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Dirtfish Rally. Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Did you know that Parker Motor Company is one of the best places to shop for new tires for your car or truck? With a full tire shop and advanced equipment, we can outfit your vehicle with over 13 brands of tires, including Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Yokohama, Falcon, and General. We offer a low price guarantee that will meet or beat any competitor's price. We'll check your alignment for free, and we also offer tire care for any road hazards you may come across. If you need new tires, Parker Motor Company is your only choice. Parker Motor Company, your hometown Ford and Lincoln dealer.
Looking to have some screen printing, embroidery, or design work done? Intense Tees has you covered. Intense Tees provides the highest quality and detail for custom screen printing and embroidery services for corporations, schools, race teams, and all organizations alike. Complete line creation, including designing of an entire corporate identity, product line creation, support promotions, product packaging, exciting banners, polos, tees, sweatshirts, caps, and vinyl decals. Intense Tees is the official apparel provider for the Down and Dirty Off-Road Show. Find out more on the web at www.intensetees.com. That's www.intensetees.com.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, and schooled by Dirtfish Rally School. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and I just got done with Matt Martelli breaking down the top 10 off-road drivers in the world, and already up for lots and lots of debate, action happening over there at race-desert.com and on Twitter and our chat board here. Some of you fans wanting to see Sheldon Creed, Jarrett Brooks on there instead of Brian Deegan. It's so tough because you got so many great short course drivers in both Torque and Lucas. Who do you pick? Who do you leave off? It's these guys like RJ Anderson. I mean, he's killed it in UTVs. Obviously, he definitely could be on there. I don't know. I mean, like Matt said, Doug Fortin, but he didn't take home any championships. It's, where do you go? I mean, lots and lots of debate. It's the easiest way to put it, man. Lots and lots of things to debate there, and looking forward to seeing that conversation at racedesert.com. Speaking of short course, in our news segment, we got lots of news to get to today. Torque 2015 schedule has been released. I know there was the preliminary schedule. There was a lot of some venues. I believe there was one in California. Was it Sacramento maybe? But anyways, we've got a final schedule 2015 Torque. Dallas, Texas, kicking things off April 24th and 25th. Moving on mid-May to St. Louis, Missouri, Chicago, Illinois, back in Chicago. That's a great venue there in mid-June. And then late June, we're moving up to Crandon, Wisconsin, to the Big House. Then Charlotte, North Carolina at the Dirt Track, going back to Sturgis the 1st of August, and then Bark River, Michigan, mid-August, and then rounding things out at Crandon International at the World Championships over Labor Day weekend. So super stoked on that Torque schedule. I think it's going to be a great year of racing. BJ and the boys at the Armory, doing a great job in expanding that schedule. I know I talked with BJ not too long ago via email, and we're going to have him on air to kick off 2015 in one of the first couple of weeks. So looking forward to having the head honcho there at Torque back on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Also, other news, Dirtfish Rally School, our good partners over there at Dirtfish right now, running another special through the holidays. Book a course before December 31st, and you get 20% off. You also, you've got to, I'm getting tongue-tied here, but it's for courses booked before May 4th. So, if you book between now and the end of the year and the class is before May 4th, you get 20% off. So definitely a smoking good deal. Go to dirtfish.com for more details, or you can give them a call at 866-285-1332, dirtfish.com. That's Dirtfish Rally School, 20% off. And that's gift certificates and classes. So if you just want to get a gift certificate for somebody, you can get 20% off that as well. So dirtfish.com and get all of that get all of that savings. Also, big news coming out of Supercross. Cian Cerullo out for the 2015 season. So that's a big break. I mean, Cian Cerullo, 250 East, dominated last year down to the wire. Ended up getting knocked out with a round or two left and not clinching the championship. I think he was definitely in the driver's seat to do it. So hurt his shoulder, missed all the motocross season last year, after almost winning the 250 East championship. Now he's back healthy, goes to Geneva in Switzerland, running an event, and crashes, hurts his shoulder again. I don't know if same one or a different one, and now he's going to miss all of the 2015 Supercross season. So that is definitely a bummer. Cian Cerullo, man, that young kid who is lightning fast, and I was looking forward to seeing him battle for that championship yet again. Not gonna happen in 2015. Got to be heartbreaking for him. Hopefully, we see him back for motocross season. But definitely a bummer. As we talked with Matt Martelli, Rob Mack, Racing King of the Hammers with the team at Poison Spider Customs. Our reporter, Courtney McCrae, she was going to call in today. She is sick, so we're going to kick off 2015 with Courtney, and she's going to break down all the Rob Mack news and him teaming up with Poison Spider there at King of the Hammers. So looking forward to seeing Rob Mack in compete in King of the Hammers. I think big move for him, and should be pretty interesting to see how he fares. We've had BJ, we've had Robbie, we've had TJ Flores. Now we've got Rob Mack trying his hand at King of the Hammers. So also Frozen Rush entry list is out. We've got Chad Horde R.J. Anderson, Brian Deegan, Carl Renazetter, Rob McCachran, Todd LeDuc, Scott Douglas, Bryce Menzies, Ricky Johnson. That's a stacked field. There isn't. There's definitely no slouches in this one, so should be interesting, especially with guys like Deegan, with guys like Bryce. Obviously, he did it last year. He's moving to Pro 4, but R.J. Anderson, maybe not doing as much Pro 4 racing. It should be interesting to see how well they do, how well they fare. But stacked field for Frozen Rush. That's coming up right after the first of the year. They're streaming it live online. It's also going to be on TV. So you short course fans, you off-road fans in general, I mean, this is an epic event you don't want to miss. So, it's one I'm looking forward to. I mean, highlights of the winter, definitely going to be Frozen Rush. And my good friend Chris Leone, reporter for the Down and Dirty Radio Show, he's traveling up there, and he'll be reporting in on all the action. We will have full coverage of Frozen Rush here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Also, moving on, as we mentioned before, Polaris announced as the title sponsor of the UTV World Championships. They're giving away 2 razors and a ton of cash to the winners. So, it's going to be big news. And I think, if you're an off-road fan, if you're in the Southwest, book your rooms in Laughlin for that weekend. It's going to be a good time. I know I'll be doing there. We're going to have some big announcements from the Down and Dirty Radio Show, coming up, hopefully after the first of the year on the UTV World Championships. But rest assured, we will be there, and we will be streaming live from the event. Also, Ford Performance Division, wanted to make mention, we talk a little cars here and there once in a while, and Ford Performance Division announced no longer Special Vehicle Team, SVT. It's Ford Performance Division. It's on a global scale, the one Ford, and they have announced 10 new car models before 2020, performance-oriented car models. Kicking things off, the Ford Focus RS will be coming stateside for the first time ever. So, those of us that have been salivating on getting one of those over here from England, there's only 2 guys in the United States that have ever had one. One guy in Texas who imported it, Ken Block had one. He no longer has it. I guess there's a date on how long you can have one in the United States under a manufacturer's plate, something like that. Ken Block's no longer here. We've been salivating. Ford Focus RS, pull up the pictures for those you don't know. 310 horsepower, 6-speed manual, all-wheel drive sports car. I mean, this car is amazing. We're going to get him here in the States, hopefully soon. I'm looking forward to that. Also, new Raptor announced. The Raptor will be coming back. So looking forward to that. I think those are going to be 2 of their first cars. Obviously, Shelby Cobra coming back as well. Lots of big news coming out of Ford and their performance division. And, as I get a chance to wheel these cars, we'll be talking about them on air, and I'll give you my reviews. Been a while since I've done a car review. Maybe we need to do a few more of those when I can get in some fast cars. Also wanted to make mention once again, Fantasy Supercross KMC Wheels, title sponsoring the Down and Dirty Radio Show, Fantasy Supercross Challenge. We're giving away a set of 4 KMC wheels to the winner. And also second through fifth place going to take home KMC swag packs. So be on the lookout on my social media. We will be announcing that shortly, hopefully in the next couple of days. But we will be doing the Fantasy Supercross Challenge. Get involved. You definitely don't want to miss that. Like I said before, next 2 weeks, we're going dark. As far as live shows go, we won't be airing over Christmas break. Maybe I'll throw together some greatest hits episodes and air them for you guys. But we won't be live. We'll be coming back after the first of the year, the first Monday back after the first of the year. I got to tell you, the guest list is growing and growing for the month of January. So lots of good shows coming up. You fans, though, upcoming events, Supercross in Anaheim, 2015 Supercross kicking off. Looking forward to that in Anaheim. Also, Best in the Desert Parker 250 motorcycle and UTV race. We got Snowcross going on. Next race is going to be from Minnesota right after the first of the year. That's their big one. We got Frozen Rush, Dakar. Lots and lots of events. Got to thank Rigid Industries, Dirtfish Rally School, UPR.com, Blue Water Resort and Casino, Race Tech USA, Parker Motor Company, Destry Abbott. Matt Martelli, and all of you who listened in 2014 and have made us the number one off-road and action motorsports radio show in the world. I appreciate it. Give me a follow at JimBeer15 on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/DownAndDirtyShow, or visit on the web at DownAndDirtyShow.com. And, that's where you're going to want to be for all the info on Fantasy Supercross and my off-season. Don't forget, I'm going to be doing that Rigid Life blog. I'll be posting the link to my social media feed as I get it done this Christmas break. So from me to you, I want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, and, have a great season. Hopefully you're spending it with your families. I'm going to be up in Minnesota. I'll be doing some snowmobiling, and you can bet your ass that I'm going to be posting up pictures of it. Can't wait to get up there in the cold, but I just want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas, and we will see you in 2015. As always, game on.